our presentation. This is the intro, social and moral. Next group.
Our cavalry people from our group is Heidi Waman Mendoza, which is me, and Alicia Chores, and Richard Blair.
Mission statements, social moral groups. We stand on theory of moral cognitives. Cognition. Am I saying that right? Oh, sorry. Given through the journey of life. We believe on the social and moral ethics of justice, integrity, moral dilemma, how life circumstances can affect behavior and shape moral standing in society. As a collective group, we believe in studying and participating in social and moral theories, giving reference to Kohlberg emotional theories.
According to Kohlberg, our sense of right and wrong doesn't just appear overnight. It develops over time as we learn from life and reflect it on our experiences and interact with people around us. Not everyone reaches the highest levels of moral understanding, and where someone ends up really depends on their lifestyle. And the culture we grow up in, a part of that growth comes from learning to see things from other people's perspectives. As we age, we learn to appreciate life more. Culture and environment don't just shape what we believe, they also shape how fast we grow up. Some people mature quickly because life has thrown a lot at them, while others take longer because life hasn't pushed them to think beyond themselves yet. That doesn't make anyone better or worse. It just shows that everyone's journey is different. And one of the biggest parts of adulthood is that it gives us a chance to actually live out our values. Instead of just thinking about what's right and what's wrong, a lot of adults face through situations where they have to make choices that reflect on them in the future. These tough decisions are the ones that challenge us the most because it pushes us to wanting more reasoning in life. In my future ultrasound technician program, I will be reasoning to be part of how I will care for patients. Rather, it's handling sensitive findings, respecting comfort, confrontality, or supporting patients during emotional moments. I will be kind, professional, and make the right choices. It will help me grow to improve how I understand and handle right and wrong.
Kohlberg idea of pre-conventional morality. Kids first learn to follow rules mainly to avoid getting in trouble. Stage one. As they grow up socially and emotionally, they start thinking about their own needs and rewards. Moving towards a sense of fairness and exchange. Stage two. The way parents raise their kids plays a big role in this growth. Strict parenting that focuses on punishment often keeps kids thinking about avoiding consequences, while learn wait, while warm and understanding parenting helps them thinks about fairness, negotiation, and mutual benefits. By explaining rules and showing how to reason, caregivers help kids understand moral ideas instead of just following orders. Playing with peers also helps with this change. Kids play games, share, or take turns. They practice working together, fairness, and give and take, which makes their stage two reasoning stronger. Interactions with siblings and friends teach kids how to balance their own needs with others,
Sí.
reinforcing the idea that
Ah, cállate. Sorry, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Reinforcing the idea that being moral is not just avoiding just about it's not just about avoiding trouble, but also about fair exchange. In general, everyday relationships at home and with friends help kids move from simply obeying rules to making moral choices based on fairness and mutual benefits.
Kids in middle adult childhood social moral. After looking at the group, after looking at what our group found, the resources we shared, one big idea stands out. Kids' social and moral growth is influenced both by how stable families are and what their communities are like. According to Kohlberg's theory, kids in middle childhood usually make choices first to avoid getting out of trouble, avoid getting in trouble or earn rewards, which are called pre pre-conventional, and then they start to think about society, what society expects, and how to keep friendships. This is known as conventional. When families go through tough times like divorce arguments, changing roles, or diff- uh, or different family structures like having same-sex parents or working moms, kids search for stability and moral direction. This means that their friends, schools, and culture around them have the bigger effect on what they see as right, normal, or good. These resources we shared about divorce highlight how inconsistency and emotional stress can impact kids, not just in school and emotionally, but also how they understand consequences and fairness. Having steady support from friends, teachers, and community can either help kids develop good moral reasoning or lead to confusion and stigma. In the end, kids do better when families and communities join forces to give clear expectations, emotional support, and social acceptance.
Information about Kongsberg. My response to the full class is that adulthood is really when people start growing in ways that matter and that often mean letting go of old dreams, relationships, and even parts of themselves. And yeah, that can feel sad or make you think about life. Physiologists have different ideas about what goes on during this time. Erickson said that once people figure out who they are, the next big step is forming close, meaningful friendships. Um, Levinson noticed that adults often rethink their plans and dreams at important ages like 22 through 28. Anne pointed out that today many young adults take longer to feel like real adults, which leaves more time feeling unsure about life. And Chongsberg reminded us that going through tough times can actually push people to make choices based on stronger personal values. So, feeling sad in adulthood isn't just about losing things, it's often a sign that you are growing. But one thing I would add is that adulthood isn't just about change. It's about realizing life doesn't always go the way you imagine. That realization hits hard. Nobody really talks about how heavy it is to wake up one day and realize you're not the same person you were at 16 or 18. There's sadness in that, but there's also a weird kind of comfort in knowing you are grown. Adulthood also forces you to figure out what really matters. You start choosing peace over unnecessary drama, real connections over fake ones, and long term happiness over short term comfort. Even when it's hard, when life or family expectations weigh on you, adulthood pushes people to grow in many ways they never expected. Many adults experience these mini heartbreaks, losing friendships, letting go of familiar routines, or realizing some dreams just don't fit their lifestyle anymore. And while these moments hurt, they also shape you into the person you are becoming. There's also this quiet kind of loneliness that comes with being an adult, not in a sad way, but more like a reality check. Everyone's busy, everyone's figuring out their own life, but you realize you have to rely on yourself. It can feel intimidating at first, but over time it becomes empowering. You learn resilience, patience, and how to stand on your own. The biggest thing to remember is that feeling, sorry, feeling sad or reflective as an adult doesn't mean you're failing. These, oh, most of the positive changes in a person happens during the difficult times. Adulthood has this way of shaping you into the person you are meant to be. Messy, challenging, but intimidating, meaningful. Resources in the bottom. Social.
In middle adulthood, a lot of people notice a change is how they relate to their parents. As parents get older, adult kids usually start to help out more by making health choices, managing money, and taking care of everyday tasks. This switch in roles can make feelings of empathy and emotional bonds stronger, but it can also lead to stress or bring back old arguments. Adults start to view their parents as real people with their own complicated past instead of just as figures of authority. Being a grandparent can really be fun and meaningful, but it also comes with some tough parts. You might have to deal with taking care of kids, figuring out how to set boundaries with your grown up kids, getting used to different ways of parenting, and handling tiredness or health issues. Sometimes grandparents even have to take on the main caregiving role, which can be stressful both emotionally and financially.
According to Kohlberg's theory, a pre-conventional morality, children first learn to follow rules because they want to avoid punishment. As they grow socially and emotionally to begin, they begin to consider their own needs and rewards, shifting towards a sense of fairness and exchange. Parenting styles strongly influence this development. Strict punishment focused parenting often keeps children through avoiding consequences, while warm and explanatory parenting encourages them to think about fairness, negotiation, and mutual benefits. By explaining rules and modeling reasonings, caregivers help children internalize moral ideas rather than simply obey authority. Peers and plays interactions also contribute to this shift. When children play games, share, or negotiate terms, they practice cooperation, fairness, and give and takes, which strengthens stage two reasonings. Interactions with siblings and friends help children learn how to balance their own needs and those of others, reinforcing the ideas of moral behavior is not only about avoiding trouble, but about fair exchanges. Overall, everyday relationships at home with peers guides children from punishment-based obedience towards moral decisions based on fairness and mutual benefits.
Social development during, is it this one?
Huh?
Okay. I could read this one. Social development during middle adulthood. Our group thought about how social development during middle adulthood includes big changes in relationships and responsibilities. We talked about how many adults are in the sandwich generation, taking care of both their kids and their older parents, which changes how families work. This often causes parents to take on different roles, brings new challenges to grandparents, and makes people rely more on their siblings and close friends. As what matters to them changes, social moral toll, selectivity theory helps us understand why middle-aged adults pay more attention to meaningful and emotional supportive relationships. In general, social life at this stage becomes more purposeful, complicated, and focused on connection and caregiving. Resources are in the bottom. Death and dying. End of life choices are very personal and influenced by how our bodies are changing. Our feelings and our beliefs about right and wrong or spiritual matters. While everyone knows about Kubler Ross stages of dying, people go through them in their own unique ways and not always in the same order, depending on their health needs and what they prefer. People might pass away in hospitals, um, hospices, nursing homes, or even at home. Euthanasia is a hot topic because it brings up tough questions about ethics, laws, and cultural views on personal choice, kindness, and what healthcare workers should do. Different age groups also see death in various ways. Little kids might not understand that it's permanent. Teenagers might think it's unfair, and adults usually think more seriously about their own lives ending. In general, talking about death like um, stu- stu- stuffing and John did help families make better and kinder choices when it comes to the end of life. Resources are in the bottom.
So my career path is as I continue on my career path as an RN, choice of taking, I'm going to be taking the knowledge learned from this course. This will further my career understanding the ethics of role, especially when providing patient care. The human development of the psyche and physical changes through the different stages of life. This has better prepared me and equipped me as a future RN.
My future career path. In my future ultrasound technician program, I will be reasoning to be part of how I will care for patients, rather it's handling sensitive findings, respecting confidentiality, being social with them, and even supporting patients during emotional moments. I will be kind, professional, and make the right choices. It will help me grow and improve myself to understand to be a great sonographer one day.
Photography can be a meaningful part of my career because it allows me to promote empath- empathy, fairness, ethical decision making, and social awareness. Whether I enter as education, social work, media, or photography itself, I can use images to represent people's responsibilities responsibly. tell meaningful stories, and encourage moral development in society.
Conclusion. In conclusion, social moral effects of human development can happen through the development of the brain. Throughout life can be carried long into someone's life. We can see how individual and social environments can affect the way a person responds to life, situations, and the concentration. One can say that one can say that the way you lead life can be how others remember you by. Sociality and morally, socially has different leans they look through can affect how a individual makes choices and how one can carry on to the next generation.
Works cited and bibliography are included in these slides. And thank you.
Thank you so much for listening to our presentation.